CDJ-style controls, filters, and beat effects, and big deck energy in a small form factor. We're taking a look at the DDJ-400 from Pioneer DJ. It's a 2-channel controller for Rekordbox DJ designed for beginner DJs and those wanting to get into DJing. It looks a lot like the ddj-rb, but with a few new features and layout tweaks. It seems that Pioneer DJ wants to standardize the club-style layout of the CDJ or DJM setup, even for DJs starting out on controllers. We'll get into those new features later on, but first up, let's get an overview of this unit. The DDJ-400 is a 2-channel controller meant to be used with Rekordbox DJ, which also comes bundled with the controller. It's got 3-band EQs, trim pots, filters, volume faders, and a crossfader in the mixer section, along with the requisite browse and track load buttons. There are 2 decks on the DDJ-400, with each deck having a 5-inch jog wheel, 8 small performance pads with pad mode buttons, hot cue, beat loop, beat jump, and sampler, and also keyboard, pad effects 1, pad effects 2, and key shift. It's also got a pitch fader and a loop section that looks similar to what you'd find on a CDJ or XDJ media player. If you've been using Pioneer DJ controllers for a while now, you'll notice that the decks on the DDJ-400 don't have their own effects sections. And these usually consist of some knobs and buttons here at the top of the unit. Instead, you've now got a beat effects section in the right side of the mixer, which is a similar placement to what you'd find on a DJM mixer. The rear has RCA master output jacks, a 1/4-inch mic input with volume knob, and a USB jack. The front of the unit has an 1/8-inch jack for your headphones. The jogs on the DDJ-400 are similar to what you'd find on the DDJ-rb. They're touch capacitive like all the other DDJ controllers, and they are not mechanical like the ones found on the DDJ-1000 or on CDJ or XDJ media players. They're responsive, and we liked how they felt. They've got a nice heft to them, similar to what you'd expect on other DDJ controllers. And the main difference with the jogs on the DDJ-400 is how they look. They have a nice glossy top that provides more traction when you've got your hands on the jog wheel platter, and a rubber rim over here like those found on the CDJ or XDJ for a grippier pitch bending experience when nudging a track forwards or backwards. The tempo faders on the DDJ-400 have also been upgraded and are now longer than the ones found on the DDJ-rb, which were really short throw faders. This allows you to make more precise BPM adjustments when tempo matching 2 tracks. One of the big layout changes to the DDJ-400 are the looping controls. Instead of the usual auto loop buttons found on older DDJ controllers or the loop in, loop out controls in the DDJ-rb, you've now got a looping section over here at the top, similar to what you'd find on a CDJ or XDJ. It consists of a loop in button, which also doubles as a 4-beat auto loop button. You've got a loop out button over here, and a reloop or exit button for either exiting or engaging the loop section again. Plus, you've got cue loop call buttons over here, which let you cycle through memory cues and loops. These cue loop call buttons also double as loop half or loop double buttons, again, just like what you'd find on a CDJ or XDJ. I think it's smart because I always found the loop controls confusing moving from a DDJ-RZ to a pair of CDJs. This way, looping becomes ingrained in your workflow regardless if you're spinning on the DDJ-400 or CDJs at the club. The effects controls for both decks on the DDJ-400 is consolidated in the beat effects section found on the right side of the mixer. You've got an effects select button over here, which lets you cycle down the list of available effects in Rekordbox DJ, or if you hold down the shift button and press it, you get to cycle up that list. You then have 2 beat buttons over here, which let you shorten or lengthen the beat length or time of the effect. You've also got an effects deck select button. You can choose to effect deck 1, deck 2, or anything coming out of the master output. And you also have a level and depth knob over here, plus an effect on and off button. The controls and layout are similar to what you'd find on a DJM mixer like, say, the DJM-450 or the DJM-900 Nexus 2, though of course the controls have been pared down to the absolute minimum. An effects select knob would have been better than a button as it's quicker to go through the effects that way, just like what you'd find on those DJM mixers, but of course you can also just click and select the effect using your laptop's trackpad, so it's hardly a deal breaker. I do miss the flexibility of the per deck effects section found on the DDJ-rb, but then again, you don't get any of that when you spin with CDJs at the club, so if you have club or pro DJ aspirations, you're better off getting used to the beat effects layout on the DDJ-400. The DDJ-400 also unlocks a special tutorial section designed for new DJs to quickly get to grips with setting up the DDJ-400. It's also got some basic mixing tutorials as well as a link to an archive of other Pioneer DJ tutorials for other kit in the Pioneer DJ product line. The Pioneer DJ DDJ-400 is a solid first controller for those looking to get into DJing. It's got contemporary digital DJ controls and performance features found on more expensive gear, plus it really is just the right size for those cramped DJ booths and, taking it along to house parties. There isn't much in terms of innovation on board though, as it's more of an evolution of the way Pioneer DJ is making beginner-focused gear instead of, well, a revolution in the way it thinks about digital DJing. If you're thinking about whether to get this or the DDJ-rb, I'd say go for the DDJ-400, if only for the new beat effects and loop controls layout that'll help lessen the friction when you make the jump over onto CDJs. Pioneer DJ continues to make strides with its Rekordbox and Rekordbox DJ software, and it's really starting to pull away from other popular DJ apps, emulating the layout of a club standard CDJ and DJM setup in even the cheapest of gear means that the transition from bedroom to main room will be smoother for new DJs and those unfamiliar with how a CDJ and DJM set works. That also means that club and pro DJs looking for a small, cheap controller to take along with them on holidays and getaways will find the DDJ-400 appealing. If you spin with Rekordbox DJ and your laptop, whether you use CDJs or XDJs, or maybe you've got a bigger 4-deck controller, you'll want the DDJ-400 for gigs where there just isn't enough space for your usual kit or if you're traveling. Overall, a good entry-level deck packed with professional features at an attractive price point, at least as far as Pioneer DJ gear go. So that's it for this talk-through video of the DDJ-400 from Pioneer DJ. I've got the full review to it over at the Digital DJ Tips site. The link is in the description box below. Hit the thumbs up icon and the like button and share this with your friends and even your online enemies. My name is Joey. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you next time.